All right, hey people, this is Chris Lucas. It's 11/14/2020. It's about 7 p.m. here in Indiana. Um, I basically want to make this video because there's a couple of things that when I was doing research for other things that popped up and it made me think about how I I feel like I've kind of been pounding this whole Trump will wind up winning um, a rigged election, that an election that was rigged against him, but I thought it was like all a script. And um I think I was kind of starting to sound even like a little like kind of like some of these like uh prophet sort of sounding people, just because it's kind of easy when you've been right all, the whole year to kind of start thinking like, even though these were just like, I wasn't like this is a i'm I'm prophesizing this and stuff. And just to start to feel like, wow, I'm not going to be wrong about anything kind of deal, or I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. So just want to kind of clarify something real quick. But because I'm not sure, maybe Biden does actually win. And one of the things I've noticed, if he does actually win, um and I just want to bring up this article I ran into yesterday. Well, no, you know what? Here, let me start with something else. Start with something I just recently saw. Let me, because I just want you to see these kinds of headlines, and I want you to know where I think they're going. Now, if you look at this top headline right here, Biden advisors locked out of COVID-19 response, developing their own plan. Okay, what do I think this kind of stuff is setting us up for when they have a headline like that? Let me show you another one when I was like doing research on another video yesterday. And I apologize for not telling anyone I was going to do a live show because, like, to be honest, this is just so I could get something done real quick and share these quick thoughts, because this is also something people kind of need to be aware of. There's this Jesuit magazine online review called America the Jesuit Review. Now, this article was written yesterday, November 13th, 2020, and it says it's time for President Trump to concede. Now, I want you to see down at the bottom. Well, it's right in the middle of the article. It says, for starters, the presidential transition cannot begin in earnest without his concession. So Trump's right now, he's not conceding because he's still fighting it. He wants the votes recounted. The concession is what sets in motion the multi-step, months-long process that provides for a peaceful and efficient transfer of power. We know that delays can have real consequences. The late transition following the presidential election of 2000, which, unlike the current situation, involved a legitimately contestable outcome, may have comprised the national security apparatus just months before 9/11. So I want you to think about this. What if this whole rigging was made to look super obvious? That way, even Republicans and Trump supporters, and even some Democrats would argue, that does look like there might be some rigging going on. It looks like Trump might be in his right to fight this. Okay. And like, so no one can really accuse him of just like fighting over an election that doesn't look like he didn't win. It looks like there's actual rigging going on. So it kind of gives him some ground to fight this. But see, I always thought maybe he was going to fight this, win it, and I thought that's kind of what it was scripted for him to do. And that he would then be so popular that he would usher in all these other things to try to prevent fraud, like new technology that just gets instituted deeper and deeper into our lives and brings about even further, which helps us take further steps towards a new world order, towards total control. So, but now I'm starting to wonder, did they have this happen? So it looks like there's some rigging going on. So Trump fights it. So there's delays. That way they can blame Trump and this whole situation of him not conceding to not allowing for a smooth transition. So when something like maybe a dark winter happens, maybe the power grids go out, maybe there's some other pandemic that gets big, or maybe somehow they do something to the COVID where they say it mutates and all this other stuff happens, and maybe they go, well, Joe Biden couldn't respond properly and his team was was not perfectly situated to respond to this because they delayed the transition. And since they delayed the transition, there's all this chaos happening. So that's another thing that could come out of this, is that you got all this chaos. And to be honest, they could still implement all this new tech, because it could be like, oh, well, there was a lot of rigging going on, but just not enough rigging to overturn the election and give it to Trump. So we're going to still give it to Biden, but also we're going to institute all these new techs. And also on top of it, now you can say, because you didn't have that smooth transition of power, that efficient transfer of power, now you can have excuses to have things like a dark winter happening. You can have excuses for like bad COVID response. You can have excuses for other things happening. Maybe even responses to attacks, against America. You can start to blame that on not having a smooth transition, just like this Jesuit article, Jesuit publication is saying. So, kind of sorry about, I'm slightly distracted because my son keeps going up and down the steps and making a lot of noise. He's right next to me. So, that's kind of what my pauses and train of thoughts kind of breaking up on me. But, so I just kind of wanted to point that out and throw that thought and ideal out there, because it's like, we gotta all, I don't think I've covered or talked about much, like, just in case, what would be what could possibly be the plan if Joe Biden wins. And I wanted to throw that out there because I was pretty dead set, as far as me personally, with things I was seeing. I really thought they were just going to wind up having Trump win, and this was going to be a way of elevating him to like a hero status. It was going to be a way of like saying he's starting to go after the deep state and making people like me, who was like, why did you get Barr and Kavanaugh and all these other deep state actors? And I thought it was maybe going to be a way to flip that on us, and be like, well, we're starting to get rid of the deep state. We're going after the Catholic Church. We're going to have a guy like Vigano and rise up in the Catholic Church and create a new Catholic Church, but I also see this scenario, and I want to just, throw that out there. I want to be kind of fair and open. It's like, I really don't know. I don't know all these people. I don't know everything they're planning to do. So, I mean, just want to throw this scenario out there too. And just make sure, just because I felt like I was saying it, like I might've been saying it like I was like so sure of myself. And maybe there was a touch of that, because I have been right about everything this whole year, and I've gotten pretty much everything I was like predicting right. It seems to have happened just the way I thought it would. But just reading that one Jesuit article, it made me wonder if maybe this is like another plan that they're, that they got. So I just want to throw that ideal out there real quick. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate everyone's support and kind words. I actually even appreciate if you got a criticism. I don't mind criticism. Like I said, it always helps sharpen me up, especially if you're right. So, and I'm always trying to be, as right as I possibly can. So anyway, thanks, and have a good day. Have a good night.